Why admitting my mistakes matters so much to me. As we are having conversations about the future of our planet and humanity, figures matter. We have to be able to back up our claims with testable models. Most people do not do this, especially ideologues, people who oppose nuclear and think that renewables are a panacea. Most of the time, these people try to gain the upper hand by discrediting nuclear energy with false arguments, mostly based on safety issues, or by implying that renewables are superior. Most of the time, these arguments aren't backed up by facts. On the other hand, when I engage in conversations about climate change and energy, my arguments are backed up by as much evidence as possible. The credibility of my argument rests on it. I feel that I have to be fair and honest. I want to earn your trust by being as transparent as possible. It's also one of the reasons for the moniker of this channel. To be a humanist is to use your brain, to show how you arrive at your conclusions, and to advocate the use of science and reason over ideology and dogma. I think that it is important to tell you why I do this stuff the way I do it. So far, I have used three basic arguments upon which I based my nuclear advocacy. And by enunciating them, it will become apparent why this recent admission of my error is so important to me. First, nuclear technology is incredibly safe. I hate to include this one because it means that I am on the defense. People start quacking the meaningless Chernobyl and Fukushima dogmas, and I have to preach this nonsense with facts. It is true, these accidents have happened, but they were nowhere near as catastrophic as some claim. In fact, quite the opposite. Just look at the many nature documentaries on Chernobyl, for instance. Consider the thousands of people who work in that area on that facility every day, and have done so since 1986. Simply consider the nuclear power plants in Texas and Florida, which have weathered the storms of Harvey and Irma with flying colors, and realize that thanks to their resilience and the excellence of the operators, both states will be able to recuperate quicker. Second, if decarbonization of our energy is required, speed and power are the key. Not as many want you to believe by using less, because that's not in the cards. I've already shown you in previous videos that using less is not an option. It may be for the West, but when we contrast the West with the growing populations of Asia, Africa, and South America, it won't matter that much, even if we would start using 30% less as of tomorrow. And that's why we have to win this debate. First, to keep XStat non-fossil fuel generation capacity open, the brunt of which is safe and reliable nuclear power. If we fail to keep these reactors running, which by the way can run almost indefinitely with correct and routine maintenance, you will see that most states and countries will resort to building new gas-fired power plants. Gas is, after all, the preferred source of energy and will remain so thanks to the fracking renaissance. Third, this is the argument that has collapsed partially. The material requirements for nuclear are significantly less than those of renewables. It is a function of power density, power availability, and the prospect of more operational years. Decades more, in fact. The argument itself still stands solid as ever. However, for added emphasis, I included some perspective on copper production rate and tried to correlate them with the feasibility of us building approximately 50 terawatts of wind and solar power by 2050. This element of the argument is now moot. So that's where I stand right now. I am not going to revise the copper argument to fit what I want to achieve. The production aspect simply isn't enough when disproving the solutions project and the green narrative are concerned. I have to refocus on the total material usage and keep the argument on the natural destruction that ensues from a maximum effort to switch to solar and wind. And that's that for the main part of this video. Now I'm going to tell you what I'm up to. I'm trying to give two guys a little insight into the materials argument. They are writing one of the best popular critiques of Mark C. Jacobson's thesis. I'm about to start writing a new book. I just came up with a title which is pretty catchy. And I am planning a crap ton of new videos. I'm also going to present a review of a very good book called Sellout by Victoria Bruce. I get fired up every time I read from it. I met the main character of the book. It's a non-fiction book, by the way, and I have a feeling that I understand his fight very well. And I want to contribute, as a successful campaign will ensure that the brightest minds on this planet can start working on solutions again. As always, ma raison d'être. I do this for my wife and children, and for your children, and for generations to come. I have nothing besides helping people understand the problems of our world. As for this channel, I really feel that it is taking off. We are not there yet, but the channel managed to gain about 300 subscribers in 3 months. So far, I have invested the money I got from Patreon in a new computer, a microphone, video editing software, and 2 trips with the purpose to speak with people. I am planning more trips because sometimes you have to meet people face to face to get the point across. We need to help them a bit, so if you like this video, don't forget to click the thumbs up button, share it far and wide, and if you want to help this channel grow, click the subscribe button and consider becoming a patron at patreon.com. Thank you for watching.